Hi and welcome to another Business Bites edition of the Hands-On Business podcast. The Business Bites edition is a shorter form version of the full podcast episode, and it's basically me, Hakeem Adebiyi, on my own talking about what's caught my attention or what's on my mind at the time. So this episode of Business Bites was stimulated by, I'm not going to go into the actual incident, but people recognize it across business where sales and marketing were having a bit of a to-do, a bit of an argument about who was responsible for what and which strategy we should be using. Should be sales-led, should be marketing-led. And that made me start thinking about the key reasons why sales and marketing should actually be working together rather than working against each other as often happens. And, as long as time has been around and there's been sales and marketing departments, they have historically been at odds. Marketing tends to think sales is gimmicky and it's all, you just got the gift of the gab. And sales thinks marketing is full of fluff and it's just about, painting pretty pictures and posting a few things on social media. Both of those sides believe the other doesn't work or is going about things in the wrong way. Now, obviously, I said that's the historical view, but bearing in mind what I've just seen recently with those two departments, then it's a view that's still held today. Now, according to the Precision Marketing Group, 1 in 4 companies currently describe their sales and marketing as misaligned or rarely aligned. And that's a staggering figure when both sales and marketing should be singing from, I hate to say it, the same hymn sheet. And sometimes the reason why sales and marketing are misaligned can be very simple. It may be that there's a flawed process, which often is the case. It may be there's a lack of accurate data, which comes from the flawed process. It may be that there's different ways of measuring metrics. Sales want to measure it in one way, marketing want to measure it in another. It may be that actually metrics aren't really measured, actually, which again comes back to the flawed process. It may well be, again, an extension of that issues with shared reporting. And often, and it's all part of that data flow, that analysis, that process flow, there's poor centralized tools, which, all of those are kind of around the same sort of point. But I've never understood it because I've always said that sales and marketing are or should be two sides of the same coin. They're just really different stages of the sales funnel, in my humble opinion. So both departments really have the same objectives at heart, or they certainly should. And whilst they may do things in different ways, one department, sales, basically needs the other, i.e. marketing, to succeed, and vice versa. If they are working independently and not communicating properly, then what you tend to get is disjointed, money-wasting and time-wasting initiatives that are then going to follow on from there. So what I want to do now is look at some key reasons why marketing and sales should be working together. So the first one of those is that you get better qualified leads, and you should be getting better qualified leads. And this is one of the things that people are always talking about. Are your leads qualified? What do the leads look like? So it comes down to that, what we were talking about before, ensuring there's a common language, there's a common purpose, there is a centralized process so that everybody knows that when you're talking about qualified leads, you know what they are, because it's then much more likely you're going to be able to get to that point. Because if lead conversion is low, it probably means you haven't got that great quality of leads, and it also means that they're probably not qualified. But if the lead conversion is low, then what you shouldn't be doing is try to look at which department is to blame. What you should be looking instead at is what's going on between those departments and what's going on to actually get those leads and bring them into that funnel. Poor communication is often why lead conversion is so low. Time and money, as I said, is being wasted on projects which are misaligned, which are targeting the wrong types of leads. And what I would describe those are unqualified leads. Marketing research partners discuss this in their article looking at qualified versus unqualified leads. And when they're talking about qualified leads, they're referring to those prospects that have been properly vetted by the marketing and or sales team. So remember that, and or sales team working together as a potential sale after some work has been done by either or both functions. And obviously an unqualified lead is one where it's been poorly vetted. So it's really important to look at that definition where they're talking about, where both or either of those departments are involved. And that's why we're saying that you don't want to be looking at the departments, you want to be looking at the process and what's going on between them. Because the magic happens when your sales and marketing team start sharing information on some kind of centralized system. So it becomes part of a process, and you're not then looking at individuals or individual departments to see where the weaknesses are or have an argument, which is what I was saying earlier. So the centralized system allows everyone to have access to it. It then means that projects will align. It means processes will run systematically, and collaborative work will produce qualified leads. Sales can then tell marketing what is and isn't working so that the marketeers can help and work together to adjust the strategy. Marketing then has all of the information it needs to produce marketing that helps sales to do a better job converting those qualified leads. Customer profiles also become distorted when marketing isn't aligned with sales. If a business is dealing with inaccurate customer profiles, marketing will be unable to target them correctly, and sales will struggle to work with leads unlikely to convert. So when the sales and marketing teams work together, customer profiles become a shared responsibility and much more accurate. Feedback becomes a loop. It's a continuum, not a, well, I've done this, you do that. It's a loop, it's a continuum. Everyone's working together. Where sales tell marketing what is going on in real time, and marketing feeds that back into the sales funnel to attract more accurate customer profiles. It is working hopefully seamlessly. As I've said at the outset, I see it as two sides of the same very important coin. So that's one thing that working together helps to do. The second thing is about improving engagement and interaction. The closer both teams work together, the stronger their working relationship will become. This in turn will produce better quality marketing campaigns based on intelligence, knowledge, interaction. And this will further strengthen lead conversions, obviously. Now, when sales and marketing teams are aligned, they work on the one shared vision, and so they have the same objectives. When both departments have the same end goal, they can work as a team to hit those targets every step of the way, instead of disjointed projects that never meet in the middle. And businesses will see customer engagement improve, obviously, once shared targets are met. Because if you're working together to try and get qualified leads, and you're capturing qualified leads because everyone's working in that loop that I talked about, sales then have tools that they need, and marketing campaigns are executed from A to Z, and everybody is working together. So a collaborative approach is the key if you really want to drive and increase those revenues. And that brings me on to my next point, and it's the final point I'm going to go into. And obviously I've only picked 3 here. I could have gone into loads because there's lots of data out there about why sales and marketing should work together, but this is the most important one, I think, and the most important reason is because it simply increases revenue. A LinkedIn and Join the Dots survey found that 58% of marketing and sales teams have found that customer retention seriously improves when working together. Working as one team can also bring in new customers, because in the same survey, 54% have seen an improvement in overall financial performance for their businesses. So, as I said, I could go into lots and lots of different types of data, but that's the key thing. 54% of those people surveyed have seen an improvement in overall financial performance for their business. So if you didn't believe anything else that I've said, if you didn't listen to anything else that I've said, if you're not interested in anything else that I've said, remember that key fact. I'll repeat it for the third time. 54% of people have found when their marketing and sales teams work together seamlessly in a loop, collaboratively, they see an improvement in overall financial performance for their business. So if that's not enough, I don't know what is. So one of the ways that the collaborative working helps to improve your revenues is that it helps you to stay ahead of your competitors, especially because lots of them won't be working in this way. Now, it allows your marketing team to be able to keep your sales team informed on what the competition is up to, which will help the sales department to directly address why your products and services are a better choice for your potential customer. Having that information, sharing that information is always going to be critical when it comes to understanding your market, understanding your customers, and staying ahead of your competitors. And obviously staying ahead of your competitors is always going to boost your profits. So there you have it, 3 reasons why you should stop fighting, if you are, and get your sales and marketing teams to work together. So a quick reminder, number 1, working together leads to better qualified leads. Number 2, it leads to improved engagement and interaction. And number 3, it leads to increase in revenue. Remember, 54% have seen an improvement in overall financial performance for their business when they work collaboratively. So I hope that you've enjoyed it. I hope you've got something from it. And if you did, please feel free to drop a review for the show. And if you want to know more about how to improve your sales and marketing strategy, then drop me a message on LinkedIn.